Hey guys, welcome back to Programmer Fila, and we are on Lead Code Daily Challenges, and today's we'll be discussing on increasing increasing triplet subsequence. It's a Lead Code problem 334. It's a medium kind of problem. So let's see how we can process this problem. Okay, so what it says, like, given an integer arrays num, return true if there exists a triple of indices I, j, k such that I less than j and I less than k. Similarly, like for nums I, j and k should be in this order. Like if no such indices exists, we have to return false. So how we will be doing it? So what they are saying, right? So if we pick this values as a I, this values as a j, and this values as a k, right? So in that case, if you see, right, I is the smallest element from, if we compare with these two element, right? Similarly, like if we compare j values, it is a smaller than k. So similarly, like if we find any triple values in the arrays, we have to return trues. If we didn't find it, like if you see this example, right, if I pick this one, right, this is a highest values, maximum values in this arrays. If we pick I, this one, so I have to find out the maximum values. So from 5, I don't see any maximum values, right? So we cannot pick this I. If I pick this I, right, so in that case also, like I need to find out 5, which is the maximum values in that order left to right. But still I'm not able to find out the maximum values. So that's the reason they have written false. Okay, so let's jump into how we will be doing it. So for this problem, like we will be approaching a linear scan approach. Okay, so let's take an example, this one. So I have taken this example 1 2 3 4 5. This is a num arrays. Let's say so I will be creating two variables, the first num and the second num, and those two variable I will be storing values, and I will be comparing with the third values. If it is a greater than from first and second values, so simply I will be returning true. So in that case, like I just took the first values and I have assigned in the first num, and similarly when I move to the next index, I will check if it is a greater than first values. Yes, it is a greater than, simply I will assign this to 2, and then I will take those two values and compare with third one. Third values, is it greater than I and j? Yes, it is a greater than, then simply I will return true. Okay, let's take an example for this one. I took this values as a one first num. Yes, it is a like first value, simply I will assign to the first num. So I took 5 as in a first num. Then I will move to the next index. I will check it is a greater than. No, it's not greater than, it's a smaller than. So what I will do is, again I will update my first num values. So I updated my first num values. Still now in first num it's a 4 values, and again we move to the next values. Again we'll compare with the first num. Yes, it's a less than. Again I will update my first num values, and I will move to the next index. Again I will check with the first num values, existing first num values. Yes, it's a less than. I will take these values. Again I will move to this, and again it's a less than, so I will be getting 1. So in that case I have only first num values. I don't have a second and third num values, right? Because we need in this order, right? First num, second and third, but we have only first num value. So we, like in that case, we will return false. Okay, let's jump into the next example. So I will take these values as a first num. So I just assigned first num, and again I move to the next one. So I just updated 1 because it's a less than the first num, the existing first num values. So simply I updated with the 1. Then I move to the next one. It's a greater than, simply I will assign these values in second num variable. Okay, again I will move to the next one. Again I will compare with the first num. It's a less than, because it's a less than from the first num values, because it's a 0. So simply I have to update the first num values. So now it become 0. For first num values it becomes 0. Again we will move to the next values. Yes, I have checked for first num values. No, it's not smaller than 0. So simply I will check for the second num values for this. For the second num values, we have assigned 5. If we compare with the 5, yes, it's a 4. So simply I will update second num values. Okay, and then I will check. It's a not a first I will check with the first num values. It's not a smaller than from the existing first num values. Similarly, I will check it for second num values. Again, it's not a smaller than. So simply I will update it for third and I will return true. So how for first num values it's become 0, second num values it's become 4, and sixth num values it's become 4 third. So we have this in this order, like first is it should be less than, then greater than from the first values, and the last value should be greater than from the first and second value. So similarly we are getting the output. So in that case we will be returning true. And similarly they have also explained it. So they just picked index third. In third they have 0, then fourth index they have 4, and similarly so fifth index they have 6. So likewise they have written true. Okay, let's debug. Like I already have written the code. Let's debug one line by line. So in the first line what I'm doing is they have given one increasing tripling variable and they will be passing one num arrays. What we have to do is we have to return either true or false, like boolean values we have to return. So first what I'm doing is, like, I will be creating two variables, the first num variable and the second num variable, and I will be assigning default max values on those two variable. And then I'm iterating, like I have to iterate the num array which they have given it. So I will be taking values one by one from the array. So in the first condition what I'm checking, first I have to check the first num values. If it is a less than or equals to, so simply I have to update the values for first num. So I don't need to further process it. I will simply jump into the next index. If it is a greater than from the first num, then I will be checking it for second num values. If it is a less than from the second num variable, I will simply updating it in the second num variable. If it is a greater than from first and second, so simply I will be returning true, because in that case I already stored first and second num variable, and it's a greater values from first and second. In that case I am getting the third highest values, and in that case, like I got all those triple indices values. So simply I will be returning true. So if I didn't find any such triple pair, so simply I will return false. Okay, so let's take this examples. I think I already copied it. Let me update this variable. So in that case, like these last three indexes are our triple indexes. So this should return true, right? Let me run this one. Okay, so it's returning true. So similarly for this one also, let me debug it. So in this case, right, so at the starting only, like it's an increasing order, it's an decreasing order. So we are expecting an increasing order, so we can find out all these tripling indices values. But in this case there is no such tripling value, so we can say like these three pairs are tripling values and we can return true. But in this case there is no such value, so simply we have to return false. Okay, let me run this one. Okay, so in this case we are returning false. Okay guys, that's all for today's, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel, and if you like this video, please like. Thank you guys. Bye.